Hearts. You've got a new manager.
And we've got loads of new players as well.
We've won 5 out of 5. We're top of the league.
It doesn't get much better for Hearts fans than a 100% start to the season, and there's the length of the league between the Tynecastle team and today's SPL opponents, Livingston. The West Lothian strugglers have managed only 1 goal and 1 point so far. How will they cope with high-flying Hearts? Find out from 2 o'clock onwards. Livingston against Hearts, the live match here on Setanta Sports. 14 points between them pre-kick-off. Let's look at the teams. Firstly, Livingston, and Paul Lambert has made 3 changes to his lineup. 2 Barretts on board, and both in the starting 11 today. Neil Barrett is ex-Dundee, of course, and Graham Barrett is on loan until January from Coventry City. And Scott Boyd comes into the lineup as well. He's just 19 years old and making only his 2nd start for Livy. Out, Tierney, Walker and Scott, the 2 youngsters on the bench. Does that look better to you, John, as a Livingston lineup?
Well, he certainly brought in more experience. You know, Graham Barrett, I saw last year playing for Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship. Very lively, you know, Republic Island player. He's a goal scorer, so that's where obviously he was looking to get the goals with him and Paul Dalglish up front. It'll be interesting to see what he does at the back. Young Boyd can play left centre-half, can play left back. If he's left centre-half, it's a big ask for the lad today against 2 very experienced Hearts strikers. He may play at left back, play Jason Dare at right back and bring in Mackay to play alongside Dorado, but it'll be interesting to see how they shape up.
It's difficult, Craig, when you're on that downward spiral.
Well, it is very difficult, but the one thing you have to do is pick up points at home. And we talk about Livingston having scored a goal. It was actually an own goal.
It's 2 years since Hearts scored 3 goals before half-time. That was October 2003, and it was 4-1 then against Partick Thistle in the end. Here it's 3-1 halfway through against Livingston, but you would imagine there's more goal action to come. Paul Dalglish's goal has added a little bit of intrigue, but Andy Webster has one of 3 Hearts goals so far. They very much hold the advantage and will look in the second half to kill Livy off. Back to our commentators, Mark Haitley and Jock Brand.
Thank you, Rob. Yes, check carefully to see if any changes have been made at half-time, but there have been none, so no surprise that, certainly from Hearts, but I wonder if Paul Lambert might have been tempted to make a few alterations. But that hasn't been the case, so it'll be as before, although the system has changed for Livingston. They've gone to that back 4, Britton at right back, Mackay left back, Boyd and Dorado as centre-backs. A little more solid that way as Hearts get us underway in the second half, and Brelier's first contribution to pick out Bednar up front. Here's Sketchel. Good ball in, Jankowskis with a first-time effort blocked by Mackay. This is Pisas. Brelier's return pass. Now Webster. Sketchel. Bednar's header on. It's great play from Hearts. Excellent football. The block was made by Dorado. Ball still in play. But it's picked up again instantly by Hearts. They win all the loose balls, it would appear. Here's Sketchel again. I suspect that George Burley may have asked them just to have a very smart start to the second half and get this game well and truly won.
Yeah, just pretty much like the first half, I think, Jock. Just go out there and approach it as you did for the first, should we say, 35, 37 minutes. And I think they've started that already. And Jaskis having half an effort.
Well, it's the 31st season of the Scottish Premier League, and no team outside the Old Firm has ever won its opening 6 matches. Hearts are on the brink. Here's Sketchel. This question of whether or not this is a bubble which may burst, but I think George Burley may be tempted to think that that's unlikely. Here's Barrett. Cross it comes to Mackay. All right foot, as you can see. Dalglish again. Clumsy first touch. Hartley's pass. This is Robbie Nielsen. Jankowskis has picked up a very good position now. The defence opened up once more. Jankowskis looking for options inside. Sketchel is one of them. Good defending there by Britton, very alert. Clumsy challenge, was it not by Webster? It wasn't given as a foul. Barrett couldn't believe that, nor could Paul Lambert. It looked to be a clear foul, I must confess, as Webster climbed over the top of his man.
Paul Lambert absolutely furious with the referee's decision there not to give a free kick. So you're down there and you're fighting in the doldrums.
Oh, he's got a case, surely.
Absolutely. Webster right over the Livingston player there.
Once again, the free kick goes to Hearts. And Paul Lambert getting more and more irate, because that again was one which was perhaps kind to Hearts. This Sketchel. And now Pisas. Good challenge made by Boyd. Webster's header picked up by Adams. Well, not the best of balls forward. We play very difficult for Dalglish and Barrett. That kind of service. Here's Adams again. Barrett has quick feet. Switch of play attempted there by Britton. Ball's out of play. Dave Mackay is very far forward in a 4-4-2 formation. This is Presley. Jankowskis linking there well with McAllister. For Hartley chased through the middle, and Mackenzie did a very good job again. Here's Neil Barrett. Nielsen had to play the ball. Craig Gordon really gave him a call at the last minute to play the ball to safety.
Good play there from Nielsen and Gordon. Ball not just holding up. Surface pretty dry. The sun's out on it. Ball just not running through there.
Here's Vinci now with a long throw. Boyd has joined in. Presley wins that commanding fashion. Brellier down to Nielsen. Well, Hearts do bring all their players back to defend at free kicks and corner kicks, so there's no hope of anyone reaching that. Webster strong again against Barrett. Excellent throw out that by Gordon. Here's Bednar. Scatchel will be first there. Good tackle made by Dorado.
Yeah, super tackle there from Dorado. Took the time perfectly. Ready on the yellow card. Match the run of Scatchel there, Dorado.
Fisas with a throw. Back to Brellier. Space again, opening up on the flank. This time it's Nielsen. Bednar's layoff. Hearts seem to be able to pick up all the loose balls. It's a good tackle made by Dalglish. Brellier to McAllister. That's for Scatchel. Britain did well. Now Vinci. Barrett trying to get in behind Presley. Was it handball? Doesn't matter. It was accidental in any of anything. Now Jason Dare. Well won by Presley. A good response from Livingston.
A better play from Livingston, being more direct.
Oh, it's a great header by Barrett. Found space in the box. Webster got to him late. Could so easily been a second.
Yeah, super run into the box there from Barrett. Super delivery. Right, just getting in front of Webster there. Say inches past the right hand upright. Craig Gordon.
Well, in the last league match, Hearts seemed to be cruising against Motherwell, but then dependent on a super save from Craig Gordon in the last minute to make the game finish 2-1. Been in the Livingston minds that Motherwell were capable of doing that at Tynecastle. Cross from Brellier to Fisas. Now Scatchel. Fisas. Block was made by Boyd. Here's Dorado. Oh, that's great play by Fisas. Scatchel. Well tackled by Boyd. Handball there by Scatchel. The last time Hearts won their first 5 league games was in 1983-84. And then they lost at home by 2-0 to Aberdeen. And here's a chance for Dalglish. There's no offside. Great chance for the second. Well, the Hearts players complaining bitterly to the linesman. But let's see if that's justified.
Looking for the offside though.
Certainly not justified. Good running by Dalglish.
Player on the far side for Hearts there was keeping them on side. Super ball again there from Barrett. Very aware of what his co-striker's doing. I think Dalglish should score there. His first touch. Next touch is good. Gives him a good angle. So, refer to Craig Gordon. Stays up, stays big. But Dalglish must be scoring there.
Well, he got a sore one to Dalglish on the ankle from Fisas in the act of shooting there. Well, great credit due to Livingston the way they come back, because remember, Neil Barrett might well have scored with a header a moment or two ago. That could so easily have been another. Well, Hearts perhaps guilty of some complacency. So Paul Hartley talking to his teammates there. Here's Dalglish with a good chance he had there. And Paul Lambert dying 1,000 deaths. Tell you what, with some game if they scored a second one.
They're the sort of chances that that Livingston are going to need to take. It's that ball again, just over the top, getting everybody turned round. I say, play through midfield. I think more direct football is required from Livingston. Just get the team up the park.
There's Jason there to Vinci. Now Britton, hounded by Scatchell. Well won by Barrett ahead of Pisas. Here's Hartley, who's been quieter in recent times in the match. Makes such a difference to Hearts when he's on song. Good challenge by Dorado.
To that time now, the international players have had big games during the week, Jock. The travelling and the exertions of the midweek game starts to come into play in about 65, 70 minutes.
That's when, of course, we may see some substitutions. There seems to be a little bit of discussion on both benches. Paul Dalglish is clearly struggling with an ankle. And there's going to be some change made shortly, I think. James McPake likely to replace him. This is Nielsen. McAllister has Pisas in space. Jankowskis leaves that now down to McAllister. Here's Scatchell. Britton playing it long, and Barrett was held up by Webster. Surely a foul by Webster.
Yeah, I think
not spotted by linesman or referee.
I think it was good refereeing there. I think Barrett just ran into the back of Webster. Webster just went for the ball.
Here's Jankowskis against Dorado, and it had to be carefully watched there by Roddy McKenzie. Hearts want a corner, they're going to get one. McKenzie made a save there.
Overall by the linesman there. Playing Jankowskis just gets himself across the defender. Clearly hits McKenzie. Good strong play there. Just coming off the goalkeeper's foot. Referee McDonald overruling the linesman.
McAllister with the corner kick for Hearts. Webster attacking the ball well, but doing a bit of climbing. Well, that's remarkable. It gives a free kick there, and there was none in the other half of the field when he was all over Graham Barrett.
I thought it was good refereeing. I thought Barrett just turned and ran into the back of him, but
no, I don't mean so much that one. The one earlier on in the year when he climbed over the top.
Yeah.
Here's Dalglish going off with that ankle injury.
Just catching him right in the side of the foot there.
On goes James McPake. Lively striker for striker. Stephen Simmons is going to come on for Hearts as well. And just checking to see who he's going to replace. 9 is Jankowskis. Doesn't look too keen to come off.
Looking on in disbelief. Yes, it is you. You are coming off.
No, there's a change of mind, I think, is there not? What's going on here? Pointing at Jamie McAllister also. No, that's a tactical alteration. Jankowskis is coming off. He doesn't look terribly happy about that.
No, looking on in disbelief.
So Stephen Simmons goes into midfield. Rudy Scatchell goes up front. McAllister is now on the left-hand side of midfield. Simmons on the right. Certainly suit McAllister much better, I suspect. I thought too that George Burley took a bit of a chance. He went up to Jankowskis to shake his hand and say everything all right to him, and sometimes you get a player to give you a reaction there.
Yeah, could have walked straight past him, but he didn't, which is good to see.
Free kick given. Challenge on Bednar.
Defender all over him now. Just pulling him to the floor. Bednar. Hearts have just taken the foot off the gas the last 10 minutes. Need to pick that tempo up again. Easier said than done. A lot of the players from Hearts have been away, as we said. It's a hot day as well, the sun is out.
Well, they had about a dozen players away on international duty, some for full international, some for under-21s. Here's Hartley. Very good clearance that by Mackay. Could have sliced that very easily, his weaker side. This is Barrett. Hounded there by Nielsen and Hartley. Bellier joins in also. Throw goes to Livingston. Got a good impression, Barrett.
Yeah, he's done well. Have a willing runner up front. Works hard for the team. Good awareness of players around him as well.
Lindsay playing it forward. That's Pisas. Driven against Neil Barrett. He too has worked extremely hard to try and stem the tide which was flowing so much against Livingston in the first half. Pisas again, taking the aerial route towards Bednar. That's won by Dorado very, very comprehensively. Decision goes against McAllister. Vinci playing it long this time again.
They're the sort of balls that Livingston are looking for, but more on the diagonal. Into the corners behind the fullbacks. Team up the park.
Bednar's mistimed that. That's Vincent. Now Nielsen. Chase on for Simmons. He's done well. Scatchell well challenged by Dorado. Well, George Burr's been prowling around that technical area in the second half. I don't think he's entirely happy with this performance after such an impressive start. And it's a penalty kick to Hearts. Neil Barrett shot pulling on Jamie McAllister. Now, will this be a card also? You would think so, but it's not going to be. Well, Dorado goes to debate the issue with Richard Britton, who should stay right out of things. They've both been booked, in fact, both of them. Well, let's check that again.
Just a hopeful ball in there.
Yeah, he's being held. He's being held.
Held
He was
by
being held.
Yeah, on the waist. Referee right on top of it. A chance for
Hartley, 2 out of 2 so far this season. 3 out of 3, 4-1 to Hearts. And surely now they've really overcome any resistance from Livingston.
Yeah, it's come from a lull in the Hearts play as well. It's been pretty much Livingston for the last 5 or 10 minutes, and just a hopeful ball in. That's what your man you would want on the ball. Good penalty, keeper going the wrong way, right to the into the corner. And a nice smile on his face for his second of the game. And there, as we see, hands clearly on the Hearts players' shorts.
Well, eagle eye of referee Dougie McDonald. He certainly has been very hot on shot pulling, all that kind of thing since the start of the match. Peck barging into Webster. I think that was correct that time.
That's what Hearts needed. I think it's 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know if you agree, Jock, but Livingston have come into the game. I think that's due to the fact that Hearts have taken the foot off the gas.
They haven't played with the same kind of verve and pace as they did in the opening half hour. There's no doubt about that. Martin Scott's going to come on for Livingston.
I think that man will be a lot happier now.
So he's going to replace. Who is he going to replace? He's going to take off Neil Barrett, I think. Man who gave away the penalty. It's his debut, and he's done his work for the afternoon. That's a good handshake from his manager coming off. Still complaining bitterly, I think, about the penalty, mind you. Pegg did well. This is Adams. Barrett held up well by Presley. That's Nielsen. Simmons losing out to Dare. Good recovery again from Hearts. That's how they started the match. Hustling and hounding and pressing. Here's Bednar. Phil Bednar. Well, this wants too many touches in the ball, I think.
Yeah, just overplay there from Bednar. He had passes on. He wanted to go it alone.
Paul Hartley fouling Jason Dare. Free kick to Livingston. Hartley with that new shorn look. The beard has come off. Good understanding there, Webster. Just knocking that back with his head. Hartley trying to find Sketchel. And Boyd just leaning in Sketchel at the key moment. Here's Martin Scott. Fouled by Sketchel.
Good work back again there by Sketchel. Said right from the beginning. They do work hard for each other, offensively and defensively. All work together. It's a secret to a successful, good side. Everybody pulling the same way.
Adams back to Vincey. Barrett trying to come deeper to get involved in the build-up play. This is Richard Britton to Martin Scott. This is Boyd. Clear foul by Scott. Good play by Pisas. Totally aware of what he was doing here.
Pisas, yeah. Cool, calm, no panic. Just keeping hold of the ball. Giving himself a free kick. They expected it was going to come. Didn't panic.
The man of the match competition. Remember, the signed shirt for the man of the match available if you select the same player as Mark Haitley and you win the draw. There are the numbers to call and the text addresses, and you'll hear whether you've got a chance just before the final whistle from Mark Haitley, or just after the final whistle. Rather. Here's Bednar. Pisas. Well, Sketchel doesn't have the same aerial presence, of course, of Jankowskis in the middle there. Jankowskis looking unhappy about that, but he did actually play for Lithuania against Bosnia-Herzegovina on midweek. He lost 1-0 at home, and he's been doing all that travelling, and a bit older than most of the Hearts players too. He's past his 30th birthday. It might be the reason for him coming off. Good to see him not happy about it though, wouldn't you agree, Mark?
Yeah, I think you're always disappointed. Game's going well. Was a striker. Was looking to, get on the score sheet.
The shot pulling there, all right, by Sketchel. Paul Lambert wants to play. Someone better remind him he's injured. A message for Sketchel there. He will be yellow carded for another infringement. Vincey again, the set piece. Good challenge made by Presley. Adams losing out there to Simmons, whose awareness is very good indeed. Into the gap it goes, offside against Bednar. That looked to be absolutely right. Shouldn't have been though. He should have held up his run.
Should have been. It was a straightforward. Just a lack of concentration there. Yeah, well offside. I'll tell you what, just before that, Derek Adams was very, very fortunate.
Yeah, a bit of a swipe at Simmons, which missed. Jason there now, trying to get away from Nielsen. Hartley, only to Vincey. There's Dorado. Now Boyd. Boyd's by no means being the worst player on the Livingston side, the young man at centre back.
He's had all up against it today, but you know, he's stood his corner. It's been a difficult game for him.
Simmons with the header. This is Dare. Switch of play finds Scott, who's had a good one of starting performances for Livingston this season. He's left out this afternoon. Well, Dougie McDonald might well have taken action for this offence here by Derek Adams. Now, how about this? For a wild swipe. Simmons did him a big favour, I think, getting away from him.
Absolutely. It's a straight red, that. Violent conduct, and I think the referee just having a word with him there.
Jason Dare is off. Robert Snodgrass, just turned 18, is on. Change of footwear for Andy Webster has resulted in him having to leave the field. Needs the referee's permission to leave and return. This is Brellier against Scott. Scott was very determined. It's all well and woolly in there, and Brellier took stunts in the back of his head there, accidentally, I'm sure, but he felt that all right.
Just a slow one on the side of the head there. The clumsy play all round. Here you go, just standing there, just catching the side of his head.
I think he stood in his hair, actually. Big pick. And shot pulling again, picked up by the near side linesman Alan Cunningham, telling the referee. Very low tolerance about that, and I've no complaint with that at all, I must say.
That's all we say, yeah. They do it once, just be consistent with doing it, whether it's in and out the box. I think, to be fair, the linesman and the referee have done well today on that issue.
Bednar the challenge there up against Dorado. There's Simmons. I wonder if Livingston might have cause to be relieved about the fact that Hearts don't appear to have the kind of energy they had in the first half. The game well won now, you would have to assume. Bednar's head flick on. Simmons not got the blinding pace to get there. Jankowskis was joined in that Lithuanian side by Jesnauskis, who's on the bench this afternoon, but hasn't yet been called upon by Hearts. Bigger task to come, perhaps, for Hearts. That might be part of the thinking at the moment. How do you think they'll cope with these bigger tasks? There's a wrestling match going on. Martin Scott giving the referee the easiest of decisions.
Yeah, Ryan
the yellow card.
The fourth official as well. Bit of a headlock there, thrown to the floor. Scott. Bednar just trying to usher the ball out for a throw-in. Ended in the track. Another card for the young man.
19-year-old, over enthusiastic. What do you think? Can Hearts do it against the big two?
Well, the way they played today, and they proved, I think, in the the previous games leading up into this one, Jot, that they can play. They've got some good players. They score goals. Defensively well organised. As you say, it's when that first defeat comes, how they react to that, and if at all that first defeat does come.
So an offside decision given there. Well, George Burley, entitled, I think, to be very satisfied. The performance of his team in this opening half hour today gave great cause for optimism. Presley up there against McPake. Here's Snodgrass. 19 first team games at the age of 17. Just turned 18 last week, and a young man with a big future, if perhaps he can inject some pace into his game.
Well, I don't think you either got pace or you haven't got pace. I mean, you can work with your feet quicker. But he looks a big boy anyway. He's 18, he's got a good frame on him. I think when you're lacking on the pace side, you have to work more on your technique side. He's not lightning quick.
Dorado penalised, using his arms, going for the high ball. It's a free kick to Hearts. Well, Vladimir Romanov, having been with the supporters in the first half, is now beside the chairman, George Falks there. Very satisfied, I suspect. McAllister. Wide for Nielsen. Closed down by Snodgrass. Good delivery. Bednar was close.
Super play again there from Hearts. Bednar finding himself in there. Nielsen with a super flat cross there, look. Just missing the far post. Just a glancing header. Plenty of pace on it, just not enough on it though to get it inside that far post.
Decent chance though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a great delivery. Don't need to get any power on the ball, just to get the right direction.
Blood coming from the nose of Scott Boyd. I think that's the problem. He has to leave the field for attention.
Used to plenty of them being a centre half.
10 men now Livingston have, briefly, hopefully. Pisas penalised for the challenge on Scott. Here's Barrett. Not a bad ball in at all, required to be attacked with more determination perhaps by James McPake. Didn't seem to believe, did he?
Yeah, needed to be breaking his neck. Super play again from Barrett. Good awareness where the space is. McPake got to be breaking his neck to get in front of Stephen Presley there. Just caught on his heels a little bit.
Young Scott Boyd has returned to the fray. It's a quarter of an hour remaining and a chance for Hearts perhaps to put an even better complexion on this, although at the moment they seem to be satisfied. For Livingston, it's about pride, it's about developing something for future matches. Barrett certainly entitled to be pleased with his contribution to his first match in a struggling team. Here he goes again. Very lively and aggressive. Willing to take possession all over the pitch. This is Mackay. Snodgrass. Could beat both Simmons and Nielsen. Now McAllister. Hartley sprinting through the centre. Scatchell's gone left. This is Pisas supporting. Livingston now have players back, and that's out of reach of Scatchell. I don't know what the Greek is for sorry, but I think that's what they said there.
So Hartley had made a fantastic run through the middle of the park there as well.
There's Richard Britton and Vinci. Webster calmly back to Craig Gordon. Well, when you reflect on this, you know there were a couple of terrific chances for Livingston at 3-1, which could have made such a difference. The one which Neil Barrett headed just wide, and then Paul Dalglish one the keeper.
Yeah, the Dalglish one was the stick on for me. It was a great opportunity. Man with a goal under his belt already. Should have shown more confidence, I think, in the way you approach the chance. To fail to take it, yeah.
That's what Paul Lambert will probably be clinging to after the match when he realises that it could have been very close indeed had either or both of these gone in. And you'll no doubt feel the penalty was soft, if technically correct. Here's Britton. Good ball in, had to be attacked. Once again it was McPake who was beaten by Presley. Careless one by McAllister. There's Britton again. And another wonderful save by Craig Gordon. Derek Adams, who on the end of the punch out, played a first time volley. What a save the second one is.
Yeah, comes, just doesn't get there, doesn't get enough on it. But that is a fantastic reaction. Hits the floor, eager to see where the ball. Now frustrated is that man. Sees another chance go.
Well,
Super save again. Yeah.
5 saves in the match. Well, that says a lot for Livingston. It didn't appear to be that way early on. And the foul goes against McPake. But his challenge on Presley.
So when you're down there, you don't get there over the green. It's the look you get, and you can see clearly it's a free kick. That man doesn't agree.
Well, still prowling around there, full Lambert. But when you think that Craig Gordon has had to pull off 3 or 4 outstanding saves.
What the joy is with Craig Gordon, he's a big guy, 6'4", 6'5". He comes, gets enough on it, not enough, and it's the reaction for a big guy, how quickly he's back, alert, and how quickly he gets down to things as well. Big guys don't like things on the ground, but he's coped with everything. Getting stronger from game to game.
Lee Wallace will come on for Hearts. He's going to replace Jamie McAllister, so that's like for like. Chesnowskis also waiting for the chance to come on. Jamie McAllister, former Livingston player, of course. Always some extra pleasure coming back to your old club and winning the match. Lee Wallace just turned 18. Another very promising young player. His 21st appearance in the first team, this is.
Nice to come into a side when you're 4-1 up. A young player coming into a side that's playing really, really well.
Davidas Chesnowskis is going to come on. That's Wallace looking for Scatchell, who's just onside, and once again good awareness shown by Roddy McKenzie. Well, Craig Gordon is such a hero, and his first match was, the first team was right here in October 2002 when he replaced Roddy McKenzie, who missed the game with a thigh problem, and Craig Gordon came in, and I think that spelled the end of McKenzie's Hearts career. Having been understudy to Gilles Rousset and Antiniemi before that. There goes Britain. Kept with a corner kick by Webster's intervention. Headed on by Adams. Another wrestling match inside the area. Livingston supporters looking for something there. Well, don't forget your chance again to win this man of the match competition. Signed shirt from the man of the match available for the lucky winner of the draw to match up with Mark Hateley's choice at the end of this match. A number of candidates clearly already in the game. One of them, of course, the goalkeeper Craig Gordon, but several others, especially in the earlier part of the match.
Stephen Presley just involved in that earlier, claims for a penalty. Arms around the Livingston player, but just, I think, cracking his cheekbone on the top of the head there.
That's Pip Yates there, helping out with the Hearts physiotherapy. Scotland and Fairman before that. The damage to the face may affect the change which George Burley was contemplating. He was going to bring on Chesnowskis, but if he's going to replace a defender, that may have to be changed. In the meantime, Lee Wallace has gone to left back, Pisas to centre back beside Webster. And now Presley has been okayed to return. Presley still coming on in the captain's role with instructions for players further forward on the side. Header on there, came from Simmons, came off Bednar, Simmons again. That's Brellier looking for Scatchell. He's offside, good chest control too. His last act of the game, I suspect.
Great position.
Well, wait for the reception for Scatchell when he comes off.
It was a super game. Gets himself into that position beyond the far post more often than not. The super game he's had for his side. 6th consecutive goal.
There goes Rudy Skachel. And here's the goal he scored very early in the match. Hartley's headed across goal. Skachel reacting. 6 out of 6. Česnauskas goes on. He'll have a point to prove, so I might see some energy from him, I suspect, the closing stages. Webster's clearance. Boyd did well there. Keep the play flowing. It's Roddy McKenzie now, who I suspect will go for distance. Yep. Snodgrass beaten to that by Presley. So the alteration has been that Lee Wallace is now in left centre midfield. Hartley has gone to join Bednar up front. Česnauskas on the left-hand side of midfield. Paul Hartley is certainly capable of playing a number of positions in his career. With hips, Millwall, Hamilton, he's been all over the place. Johnston, and blossoming later in his career, but has played on both flanks. He's played at centre forward, played in midfield. I think this attacking central midfield role, though, Mark, is the one which suits him best.
Absolutely. I think that's his position in there, just behind strikers. More offensive type of midfield player. A couple of goals today, creator of another one.
Offside against Simmons. That must have been very close indeed. The linesman upsetting the Hearts supporters. Just about right.
Just about right, yeah. Linesman right in line with the play.
And unbiased, that might help too. Presley doing well then against Barrett. This is Lee Wallace. And now Česnauskas, first chance to make an impression. Asking a lot there of Hartley. Boyd's got a good turn of pace. Young defender. He'll squat that to safety.
That's the last thing you need. Paul Hartley, 86 minutes, an overhit ball into the corner. Seems to have been doing that all week. Had a great game today. Goals, taker of 2 goals and a creator of another.
Webster's header. This is Boyd. Well, I think we've seen enough of Scott Boyd to indicate that he might have a chance. Playing against a very good side early in the game. And dragged all over the place. He stuck to the task well. Simmons with a little flick for Česnauskas. Thought that Simmons continued the run. He had checked out, in fact, wanted the ball played square. Here's Adams. Chested down well by McPake. This is Britton. And Vincent. Dorado now has time and possession, and Snodgrass put under pressure by Nielsen. Challenge came from Pisas. Some very tired players out there now. So much energy expended by Hearts, especially in the opening half hour. It was impossible for them to maintain that at the same pace all the way through. Britton to Vincent. Brilliant turn, but ran straight in Česnauskas, then hacked him to the deck, so a free kick it goes to Hearts. I think all players are there ready to hear the whistle, Mark. The stage.
Yeah, some tired legs out there. Hearts have been the team with the up tempo, but it's never easy. Spending more energy chasing the ball. So 2 tired teams out there. Sun still blazing down. I think both teams ready for the final whistle.
Bednar though would welcome a goal, I'm sure. Oh, thankless ball that towards Barrett. Sure to lose out to the power of Webster at the back. Presley commanding the situation there, demanding that he would take that. Good pass there from Česnauskas. Hartley into the gap there for Bednar. Oh well, they covered there, Mackenzie. He did very well indeed. Looked to be in trouble for a moment. Now Barrett. Snodgrass to his left. Nowhere to go when he came inside. I saw Snodgrass last season score a wonder goal coming in from the right hand side of midfield onto his left foot to bend one into the corner. Not so easy coming in off the left. So the two officials, the referee and the fourth official, have signalled how much additional time there should be. I think we'll see the number 3 being held up in a moment by John Underhill, the fourth official. Indeed we have. There he is now, showing us that there will be 3 additional minutes. I'm not sure even Livingston will want that. Snodgrass towards McPake. Back with Vincent. Well, what are the pluses that you take out of this from the Livingston point of view, Mark?
I think just sticking in there. I think that's the positive that Paul Lambert can take out of this. They've stuck in there. They've not thrown in the towel. They've battled away for the whole 90 minutes. They got a reward just before half-time. I think they scored the goal. They've got Barrett there. They've got Dalglish there, quite capable of scoring goals. And I think that's what he'll take from today's performance. That they've stuck together and worked very, very hard for each other.
And what about any negatives for Hearts? Anything worrying you about their performance?
Not really. I think they looked pretty comfortable the whole game. I think they're taking the foot off the gas. It's obviously encouraged Livingston to come onto the game, but I think if you're George Burley, I think you're delighted with the way your team's come. The reaction he's got from his team. As I say, a lot of them have been away for 10 days on international duty. And you always look for that reaction, and I think it's been a good positive one that the Tynecastle side have shown.
There's Richard Britton. Well, I must confess, for me, that opening half-hour burst was extremely impressive. And I add that to the 4-0 defeat of Hibs in the season, which we covered in Setanta Sports. They do look to be the real deal at the moment.
Yeah, they look like the team to beat. Nobody yet to beat them.
Big month coming up, though. They have to play both Rangers and Celtic in the next few weeks. They've also got to go to Inverness. I think that's another issue for them.
With this sort of confidence throughout the side, though, John, you'd feel pretty confident going in against either of the Old Firm at the moment. And they're scoring goals, of defensively playing very well as well.
There's Vinci, across it comes to Dorado. Hearts quite happy to funnel back and face the ball, crowd the box. Now Richard Britton has a chance to get the ball into the danger area. Dorado's gone forward here. Skipper, he's done well. Awkward ball, Simmons heads it away well. Calm play of defence by Hearts. That's the Hearts we saw in the early part of the match. Chesnauskis now, fresh man. Brought down by Adams. Derek Adams not turning to look at the referee in case a yellow card was coming out.
I think he was expecting one there. But, he stood there chatting to his Livingston teammate, looking away from the referee.
Hartley forward, Chesnauskis. Careless one. But it's the last pass of the match, which Hearts won comprehensively, thanks to an outstanding burst in the opening half hour. George Burley entitled to be very pleased indeed. Paul Lambert will be looking for some comfort out of this heavy defeat. Paul Hartley, the scorer of 2 goals. Andy Webster, the scorer of goal number 2. And Craig Gordon, despite this comfortable victory, pulling off half a dozen very good saves and a couple of outstanding ones at that. The goals coming early on, 10 minutes. Hartley setting up Rudy Scatchell for his 6th goal in 6 matches. Terrific performance. Then space given to Andy Webster at the far post to make it 2-0. and surely then the game was clinched finally with his wonderful counter-attacking goal, finished off by Paul Hartley. That was in 34 minutes. There seemed to be a real drubbing on, but this free kick parried by Gort from Barrett. Dalglish knocked in the rebound and gave Livingston a little bit of inspiration for the second half, in which they troubled their opponents early on. But then Neil Barrett was caught shut pulling inside the box, and Paul Hartley was able to rifle home goal number 4 and make the result extremely comfortable for Hearts. They really were impressive in that opening spell. That's what their fans will remember most. The final score, Livingston 1, Hearts 4.
If we look at the last time these two teams
what about
met...
penalties in the second half? OK. Yeah, bye.
If we look at the last time these two teams met...
Drop the pen.
Got it. Got it.
If you've been refused credit elsewhere, nobody tries harder than Welcome Car Finance to get you a newer car. Every year we approve thousands of people for car credit. Many of our top name cars are under 2 years old and all come with an independent quality and safety check and full MOT. Call Welcome Car Finance now and we'll give you at least £1,000 for your old car plus £250 cash back. Call Welcome Car Finance now on 0800 040 9000 or visit our website.
Now out of south of what becomes a country boy, a truck shining like a pin. Here's a big bright boy named Willie McCoy, but back home they call him Slim. Now he's tough as teak with a honoring streak. He's got a turbo diesel brute. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off the hold alone to range, and you don't mess around with him.
If you need to borrow money, then you should talk to specialists. Someone who's on your side, who acts for you. Like Lisa at loans.co.uk.
Hi, Phil. This nice couple were paying over £1,000 every month on their unsecured credit agreements.
Could you help them?
Yes, even though they've been turned down in the past. We can reduce a customer's monthly outgoings by up to 50% every month.
So they're happy?
Very, very happy. We arranged a loan to clear their previous debts, and they get a 5-month break before they have to start making repayments.
Happy days.
If you're a homeowner and you need a loan, call loans.co.uk on 0800 856 7029.
Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better. Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better.
No, you just lost me 15 quid.
Well, emotions running high in the studio.
No, why don't you stick it up yours, mate?
That your mum again?
Hearts have kept their 5-point lead at the top of the SPL. Livingston were steamrolled in the first half hour at Almondvale with Rudy Scoutshaw, making it 6-6 for him. And it was 2-0 for Hearts when Andy Webster scored with an unmarked header from the set piece. On 34 minutes, 3-0. Jankowski's Bednar set up Hartley. And the Tynecastle team were cruising. Just before half-time, Paul Dalglish gave Livingston a little bit of hope. They had a good start to the second half, but they were crushed with that penalty award against Neil Barrett. And Hartley scored his second of the match. 4-1 Hearts. And their winning run continues, and the SPL table continues to look very nice indeed for all Hearts supporters. 18 points out of 18, a goal difference of plus 15. A 5-point advantage over Celtic, Kilmarnock and Hibs. The man of the match was 2-goal Paul Hartley. Here he is with Scott Booth.
Paul, the wins just keep on coming. How does it feel again today to have answered your doubters?
Fantastic performance, especially the first half. First 35 minutes we could have been maybe 5 or 6 up. We played really well today, but fair credit to Livingston, they came back in it a wee bit. Second half was we didn't really perform second half, but it's been 6 wins in a trot and it's fantastic.
Both domestically and internationally, things just could not be going any better for you, could they?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic week for me and the other guys in the Scotland squad, Elvis, Andy Webster and Craig Gordon, so we've had a really good week and this tops it off.
You do take the pressure when you enter that international arena, but it just shows you the boost you can get as well.
Yeah, I think 4 points to the 2 games, to the Scotland games, and then it's given us the confidence today, and we're on a real high just now and hopefully it can continue.
Just how does it feel for you to be part of this Hearts dream at the moment?
Yeah, it's going really well. I think the manager's made some difference since he came in. We didn't think we'd start like this at the start of the season. We've got a lot of new players and it usually takes time to gel, but they've all gelled really quickly and we've got a great team spirit there.
Now, Rudy Scatchell's almost becoming as much of a cult hero as you are at Hearts. How important is it that you do keep contributing goals like this? Yeah,
it's a main thing for myself is scoring goals, and I think last season, I scored 15, but Rudy's come in and took a wee bit of pressure off myself, and he's got 6 in 6 games, which is fantastic, but I've chipped in with 4 myself, so hopefully I can keep it going.
It's also very good as well when you've got a goalkeeper like Craig Gordon at the back, isn't it?
He's unbelievable. He's just fantastic. He's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen, so he's going to go right to the top.
So now it's a test in Inverness to come for 7 games out of 7?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult getting up there. A lot of teams have struggled up there, and Craig Brewster's got them playing really well, so we'll get into the match full of confidence and hopefully we can get another good result.
Well, Paul, not for the first time you are the Bank of Scotland man of the match. Here's your champagne, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Scott. Cheers.
Craig Burley and John Robertson are with me. I think we'll forgive him for that best goalkeeper I've ever seen tribute to Craig Gordon there, but Hartley himself was outstanding again.
Yeah, I mean, we've said at the top of the programme, he just gets better and better with age. A bit of vintage wine, I suppose, not that we know much about that, but he's scoring goals. He said rightly, Scatchell's taking some pressure off him, and Hearts win again 4-1. Their midfield players combining 3 to 4 goals. The strikers are not on target today, so that in itself shows you just how dangerous this Hearts team can be from all areas.
So Mark Haitley picked Paul Hartley, not surprisingly, as man of the match today. And our competition winner is Michael McEwen from Edinburgh, who will get a signed Paul Hartley shirt heading his way. We've heard from the man of the match. Let's now hear from the winning manager. George Burley is with Scott.
George, off the blocks really quickly today, but then did you take your foot off the gas a wee bit?
Well, I think anything in football, you don't maybe always play to the top of your game for 90 minutes, and that was the case. And I was pleased to get this one, away, because we had 12 days away and we had 11 players missing. So it's, the boys were a wee bit disappointed. We got a bit ragged second half, but how can you knock 6 wins out of 6 and scored 4 goals? And I mean, the first half hour I thought we played really well, played some great stuff.
Rudy Scatchell, 6 goals from 6 games, and Paul Hartley again 2 goals today. That is an important facet, isn't it, to have midfield players that can do that?
Well, we're a type of team that like to go forward, and we like our midfield players to go and join the front, and we've got players with energy, and that's our style of play. So we're not going to stop that, and we've scored a lot of goals this season.
How do you do that? Are you just doing crossing and finishing like daily?
No, I think it's down to attitude more than anything. It's getting the players to go and join in and having that energy. All credit to the squad, because at times we haven't played our best this season, but because we're still building a team. We started 6 weeks ago without really a squad, and we've came a long way, but still got a lot of work to be done. But what we've got a bit of honesty, endeavour, and spirit, which can make up for a lot of things.
It seems that you're really relishing that challenge that you're getting here. How big a test, a managerial test of your ability is that?
It has been a big test because it's never. Sometimes it's not been easy, and we've been trying to get the players in to keep strengthening us, but it's worked very well. And I've already said, we've got a great bunch of players to work with, and they go out every day in the training ground, work hard. They want to listen, they want to improve. They've got a lot of honesty as a team. And we'll try our best to keep it going.
And Mr. Romanoff today seemed to be enjoying things from the stand?
Well, scoring 4 goals away from home, it's tremendous, but we're not kidding myself. Long way to go, but full marks for the way the boys are going about the games.
But also in the stand today as well, George, were other players that can come right into that team that haven't even played yet?
Well, we've got 1 or 2, but at the end of the day, the squad, I feel, is still lacking, bits and bobs. So that's something we've got to look at maybe in January. But the commitment's first class. I look at Rangers and Celtic squads, and you can see that they've got maybe bigger and better squads. But what I've got is honesty. But and hopefully we can keep it going. But there's still a lot of work to be done. But every game we're going out and think we can win and score plenty of goals, and that's what's winning us matches.
George, well done today.
Thank you.
18 SPL points, 19 SPL goals. Very impressive so far from Hearts, and as George Burley was saying there, in some matches they clearly haven't been firing on all cylinders, which is maybe a frightening thought for all the opposition coming their way in the coming weeks. Let's get the thoughts after match of the 2 guys in the studio, Craig and John, from Uncle Burley to Nephew Burley. And he mentioned the word attitude there, because you can have all the ability in the world, but you need application to go with it.
You do, and you need ability, and they've got that. And I think he knows he's got good players there. He knows he maybe hasn't quite got the quality of Celtic Rangers, but he's got guys playing for each other. He's got foreign players who've come in and want to roll their sleeves up and be gritty and work hard. He's got a backbone to his team of Scottish players, what I have to say is fantastic from our point of view. And he's got a goalkeeper playing as well as he ever has done. Not the greatest keeper Paul Hartley's ever seen, but he's still learning the game, the lad, and he's only going to get better and better. And the 2 centre-halves in front of him have been solid, so all in all it's looking pretty good for him at this moment in time.
Scott Booth's question to Paul Hartley about doubters was not about doubters at the moment, because we can see the quality of Hearts. The doubters are those who reckon that Hearts will not go all the way this season. 6 games down now, 6 SPL games plus the cup win at Queen's Park, which the Hearts fans won't want to forget either. What do you think?
Well, history down the years dictates that Celtic Rangers will come strong, but to win leagues, to challenge, and I said before in the programme, we've a terrible way in Scotland that we moan that there's no chance of Celtic Rangers, and then you had Hibs making a good challenge, and Aberdeen in recent years for doing well, and then suddenly Hearts come along with Romanov's money and are putting a real challenge forward, and we're still doubting them. Why? 6 games out of 6 they've won, and they've won comfortably most of them. They're scoring lots of goals, they're looking solid. He's got a good squad of players to come in. Why not? They can't. You can't win the title after 6 matches. But if you take 18 points out of 18, then you're certainly laying the foundations for a real run, and I think Hearts can go all the way.
Was 4-1, Craig, unkind to Livingston when you think about a sitter missed by Paul Dalglish and some special saves by Craig Gordon?
I think it was. I think there are some positives to take out of that game for Paul Lambert. Livingston played better than I thought they would have done. Now that might sound strange, having lost 4-1, but Craig Gordon made good saves, as you said. In the second half, they played better. George Burley said Hearts were a bit ragged. Dalglish and Barrett up front were lively, and if they create chances, I'm sure they will put them in the back of the net, although Dalglish, as we've seen, a little bit should have scored. But I think there are positives there. The only negative is they're bottom of the league, but with Dunfermline struggling, they're always going to have a lifeline.
It's great for them that they've got a lively attacking partnership, which looks to have some promise, but they've got to defend better, have they not?
Yeah, we said earlier that the big things have not been scoring goals, but those 2 today really impressed me. I thought Dalglish showed his pace in behind, Barrett showed his pace in behind. They were both very physical. Yes, Hearts blew them away the first half hour, but Barrett always wanted to look to score, ran out a little bit steam, maybe needs games. Dalglish misses a chance, but that's a good thing about it, is they did have chances, but Hearts have got this mentality at the moment that they knew the job was done. Although had Dalglish scored, it would have made it really interesting for everybody else. But no, I think Livingston can take real positives out of the game, the way they attacked. Good performance for young centre-half Boyd as well. It's only his 3rd game, done very well. Richie Britton threw some great crosses in there, so yep, I think a little bit more positive for them.
And you don't mind me telling everyone that you broke down in tears when Rudy Scatchell equalled your record of 6 scoring league games on the trot.
Yeah, I've said before, records are there to be broken, and if Hearts players are breaking records from whatever's been broken, then it's another positive sign for them. So I hope he goes up to Inverness next week, which will be a hard game for him, and gets a 7th.
Yeah, but I think from Livingston's point of view, Rob, that Paul Lambert's got to find a system that's going to suit him and suit his players, and then just stick to it. Today he started the game with 3 at the back, with Dave Mackay central in between the back 2 centre-halves, and they were all over the place. He then changed to a back 4, and for an hour, the last hour of the game, they were certainly a lot better. So sometimes you can overcomplicate things with players that find it difficult to understand what you want from them. And I think if he finds a system, whether they win or lose, stick to that, teach the players what you want and go from there.
And can Paul Lambert be an answer in himself? Can he knit together that midfield area and also protect the back line and give Livingston a chance to keep the teams out at one end and give Barrett and Dalglish the opportunities at the other?
Possibly, yes. I think his experience in there, his way to dictate the pattern of the game, the tempo of the game, yes, because that's the one area that Livingston did look a little bit weak today. I thought when he went to back four, he looked a little more solid. The front two, as we've mentioned, were very lively and very physical, but they just didn't get a foothold in the game at all in the midfield. I thought that's where Hearts lost the match, and when Hearts did have the composure to pass it about in there, they got through Livingston. So yes, I think Paul Lambert could well be the answer there.
And who expected Hearts to get Livingston to get anything out of this game today, Rob? Let's be honest, they have been struggling. Hearts are the form team in the country. Livingston are bottom of the league, so anything would have been a bonus from them. They got a decent performance. Defensively, not good enough, but in terms of going forward, Dalglish and Barrett were a big improvement, and I think that will give the Livingston manager a little bit of food for thought in terms of being a bit more positive tonight.
Well, we're talking about him. Let's hear from him. Paul Lambert with Scott.
Paul, to go 3-0 down against this Hearts team is just asking too much, isn't it?
No, I really don't. I said that at half-time. The goal that Paul gets is from the free kick. Fine, you're still well in the game. And then Craig Gordon, who I thought was terrific. The saves that he thought that he got, I never thought possibly could have got them. I thought he was terrific. That's probably why he's Scotland's first choice goalkeeper, but he's paid to do it. Terrific performance from him. And then Paul Dalglish has a great chance in a 1v1. And then Craig makes an unbelievable save again from Derek Adams. But to be fair, our players, they kept going and going, and we're very good. I thought, okay, first half, it's an impossibility to defend the way we did for the 3 goals at Hams. And but as I said, they never capitulated. They kept on hanging in there, got the Joshua with the goal, and the next goal was always going to be vital. And the penalty, no.
Well, talking about the penalty, I take it you're not too happy with the refereeing today, especially on that penalty decision. We can see it now.
No, well, I always say, Scott, you've actually played it. You played the role. You know, tugging gets it's done. If he scores from there, he's a better player than I thought he was. If he scores from there, but it just shows you the slightest touches now, and people go down, you're getting penalised. It's a contact sport. Always has been, always will be. And it's part of the game. But you can't have a penalty for that.
You seemed like you were frustrated throughout the whole game with the refereeing. Is that now part and parcel of your job now as manager?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's part of the game, and I won't apologise for it. It's that you're in the lion's den really, but it's great. It's terrific. Referee will get more an earful, but it's me. But it's about the players, and they've done everything they can to try and achieve a game against a good side.
What must worry you today, though, is at times the defending was non-existent, especially for Webster's goal from the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. When you work and train all week, and you can throw absolutely everything in the box and they'll actually go and head it. When it comes to a game, then you're not there. There's no point. But you've got to defend better, no doubt about it. You've got to defend better and stop giving away. I wouldn't mind if people were scoring world-class goals against us, but not from 2 and 3 yards out.
At least there must be some positive to take out of this game, and I think the front players in particular did show some signs of a partnership there, particularly Graham Bennett.
I thought
Barrett, sorry.
Absolutely. I thought Barrett was out of this world. I thought he was terrific for his first game, man. He was terrific. But the boy as a player, no doubt about it. And Paul Dalglish has done terrific for us since he's been here. But Graham Barrett, I think, will get better as each game comes along. And as I said, we've got him for a spell, and hopefully. The way he played, he deserved a goal, but we can't make chances and hopefully stop conceding in the other end.
You have said on a weekly basis now that you're on to the next game now. It's United away. Is that what's now in your sights?
That's it. There is no point come Monday morning you come in here and your face is as long as the day's long. There's no point because you can't change it. You're beat. You have to take your medicine and go into the next game. It's easy for people to keep criticising. As long as they don't get their heads down, then I'll always go with the way that I always went as a player. If you win, lose or draw, leave it and then go to the next game.
Paul, thanks very much.
No bother. Thanks very much.
Well, here's where it all started going wrong for Livingston and very much right for Hearts. It's some achievement for a striker to score in 6 successive league games. It's something else for a player who operates on the left side of midfield. But Craig, he's a bit special, Scatchell.
Yeah, and you just felt it was meant to be for him today. You know, everybody was saying, can he keep this run going? And to be fair, he won't score any hit easier than that. All the work's done for him. Although he does create the pass here, the little reverse pass. It is onside, there's no doubt about that. Great clip ball, composure here, clip to the back post, and Hartley's clever, he just nods it back into the path. Jankowskis might have got there, but Scatchell's the man, he's the man, 6 goals and 6, and a great start for Hearts really, and George Burley took him off in the end because he's a player that Hearts can do without, you know, because he's scoring goals for them, he's in the general all-round performance, and he works hard for the team. I was watching him today off the ball.
There's a real hunger about him, isn't there?
Yeah, getting back, making tackles on that left-hand side. I think George knows as well that he can play up front as he did towards the end of the game as well, so he could probably play on the right-hand side and cut in, so he is a talented lad and Hearts do need to hold on to him.
Dave Mackay won't want to see this again because it was goal number 2 for Hearts. A free kick near the corner flag, Jamie McAllister, and what was Dave Mackay doing?
Well, it's a cardinal sin when you're in the box there. You know, as a defender, you've got to get touch tight. I know we'll see a penalty instant later on, but you've got to. You see Elvis and Andy, that they make sure they get really close to their players. Big Andy's not even stepped off him. I think that's a disappointing thing. That he's just stood his ground and just nodded it in. And we talked earlier about a competition. Elvis tried very hard to nick the ball.
It's about your distance, that, wasn't it, when you were playing?
If I was Elvis, I'd have been running away saying I'd claimed that.
But when you look at that, it's all movement from Hearts and it's all static for Livingston.
I don't think that, well, I would disagree with you in that goal because I don't think Andy Webster's had to move.
Yeah, I disagree with him.
Yeah, I'll just agree with you. I prefer his questions anyway.
Well, Elvis was moving.
Elvis has dragged them away, to be fair, yeah. And the ball, it's a good delivery for Jamie, and Andy's been left unmarked and he's knocked it in. But Hearts are a threat. You know, they've got Bednar, Jankowskis, they've got Webster, they've got Fisis, they've got Presley. You know, they can throw these guys in, like Celtic did a couple of years ago, and they are a danger, as we saw again today.
And let's not get away from it. And George Burley has mentioned in his interview, they haven't played well in all 6 games. But as we've just mentioned there, what they've got is a big physical presence, and teams like Aberdeen at the moment, Aberdeen with all their pace, haven't got that physical presence, so when they're not playing well, Hearts, they're still managing at times to out-muscle teams.
One of the features of the match, as Paul Lambert has just told us, is the goalkeeping of Craig Gordon. This was a top save because he must have seen it very late.
Yeah, he did. As I says, Robbie's gone out, there's 2 players between him and the ball, and the Livingston player running across, and you'll just see it takes a big deflection of Elvis's inside leg, and that's a terrific save. You know, goalkeepers and goalkeeper coaches working that week in, week out, that is a match-winning save, and it kept Hearts 2 goals to the good at the time.
The first 3 Hearts goals, all very different, I suppose, in their own way. This was all about a counter-attack with Livingston having been camped in the Hearts penalty box. Hearts played it out with Brellier, then it was Jankowskis, Bednar, Paul Hartley, 3-0.
It was a great goal from Hearts' point of view. I think Paul Lambert will be disappointed that his team were attacking and they allowed this kind of space, and there's Hartley making the drive. What a nonchalant finish, I have to say. I mean, if it tells you anything about Paul Hartley, he's a player playing at the top of his game with plenty of confidence, but all the work was done on the break. Great ball across, you know, and that's an easy finish for him. And, you know, what can you say? Yeah, the defending wasn't great. They squeezed up for offside when they shouldn't have, but you look on the positive side. Great counter-attacking football from Hearts, and arguably their best player, and certainly their best player today, getting in there and finishing with aplomb, really, and he was never in a doubt it was going to go in the back of the net.
A lot of people inside the stadium didn't realise that this was a superb save, another one from Craig Gordon, because it was given as a goal kick, but there were definite fingertips from the goalkeeper there. Yeah,
I think at the time when we watched it, it's not until you get a really good look at it that you see, I think this is the angle, you just see right there, it's just a ever slight touch, it makes sure it goes to the top of the bar, because if that hit the bar and cannon back in, there's a couple of Livingston strikers in there, but you know, you can talk about Jankowskis up front and Bednar, Hartley, Scatchell, but to have someone like that at the back when you are under a little bit of pressure is every bit as important.
Yeah, the performance of the goalkeeper and the defence for Hearts has been immense this season. And the Livingston goal here today is only the 2nd SPL goal the Hearts have conceded since the opening day. This was Paul Dalglish snapping up the rebound after the Barrett free kick was spilled.
Yeah, partnership was good, Barrett and Dalglish, and you know, a bit unfortunate there, Craig Gordon. Difficult save because it's so close in, it comes through an array of players there and he drops it, and he'll be a wee bit disappointed with that, but his general performance was very, very good, and you know, it was a little lifeline to Livingston at just before half-time to go in at 3-1, but it wasn't to be for them. But it is a little bit more encouraging from Paul Lambert's point of view to have those two lads in, just get them in before the transfer window shut, and that might just get them a few goals between now and January.
Livingston were encouraged by that. They started the second half pretty well. They created a couple of opportunities for themselves. This was a near post header from Neil Barrett, which wasn't too far away.
Yeah, well, at 3-1, you know, Paul said that at half-time, if we can get the next goal, a little bit nervous for Hearts, gives Livy another big lift, and it's a tremendous effort. You know, it's the first time we've really seen Neil. He's ghosted in there, he's got the header. I think this is beating Craig Gordon, but it's just past the post, and at this time, Livingston were having a very good spell of pressure.
This was maybe the end of Livingston's hopes of clawing anything out of the match, because Paul Dalglish got himself clean through and failed to hit the target.
Yeah, I mean, it's Barrett again, and Hearts were furious that it was offside, but it wasn't. And then Robbie Nielsen on the far side played them on, and Dalglish gets injured, gets a knock in the ankle, but he's got to be disappointed there. It's one-on-one. You can see Robbie Nielsen on the far side playing him on. They step up. He's clearly on. Good decision from the referee's assistant. Once he gets in there, though, expecting him to score. It was a decent performance from him, but that would have capped it off. Paul Dalglish unfortunately had to go off because of the challenge here a little bit later on. But Paul Lambert beneath us here in the studio down in the dugout was absolutely raging. He knew that was a great chance to get them back into the game, and it was one that they passed up.
Stand by for Robbo in the soapbox now as we look at the goal which made it 4-1 Hearts. Paul Hartley scoring from the penalty box, but the man beside me reckons this was not a penalty.
No, as I said before, I think, you know, we've seen two soft penalties today now. That one there, the one was talked about Hibs earlier on. There's not much in that, you know, at all. Has he got hold of his jersey? Dougie McDonald's probably got a better angle for us and says yes, but I don't see much in that at all. And it completely finishes the game off as a contest. And you know, in the end, as I say, it's a comfortable victory for Hearts, but a little bit of sympathy there for the Livingston defender.
But you look at the way the Italians defend at times and things like that, they're always doing that and blocking people.
Well, I think you'll see one later on. I don't think we've got it now, but later on in the game, I think Stephen Presley was with James McPake, and Stephen's got his arms wrapped around him, and they're both going for the ball. It's very similar. I think it's a bit nitpicking, that one. Again, I think it was a very soft penalty kick.
The look on Paul Lambert's face in the technical area told all about Craig Gordon's performance here this afternoon, because he defied Livingston time and time again, and there was one more memorable moment for him with this double save, and the second one from Derek Adams was remarkable.
Yeah, it's all the more remarkable that he was obviously playing for Livingston in that attack, but no, it was. I mean, but we've spoke about it. The plus points for Hearts is, you know, you've got Craig Gordon and Elvis and Webby playing in the international team with Paul Hartley. Great understanding, but Craig Gordon again today, he's taken his international form and brought it back to his club, and he just looks unbeatable.
I'm going to try this one again. There was one memorable moment near the end.
Well, that was a good save, though, that one he just made. But that's a fantastic save. The one earlier I would have expected him to make because it was a decent angle, but here he comes out and punches it. It then drops to Adams. He's on the floor, and he sticks. I mean, the lad just gets better and better. I'm sure there'll be people out there waiting for him to make a dramatic fall. I certainly hope that's not the case. I think he's got lots of talent. John was saying earlier, he's a very level-headed lad as well, great attitude, and he was immense today, and that's a positive for Livingston that the goalkeeper for Hearts, who are top of the league, has had such a good game today, so it's a positive for Paul Lambert.
We're just about finished here, but this is the story of the Bank of Scotland Premier League weekend. A 2-0 win for Celtic against Aberdeen, with Maciej Zurawski scoring his 5th goal in 4 games for club and country. A big shock for Rangers ahead of Champions League action at the Falkirk Stadium, with Daniel McBreen scoring 12 minutes from time. 1-1 it finished there. More drop points for Rangers. Danny Invincible scored at Rugby Park in the 90th minute to give Kilmarnock victory against Dunfermline by 3 goals to 2. They're joint second. Ivan Sproul, that man again, 3 goals at Ibrox, coming off the bench 2 weeks ago. Another one to beat Dundee United at Easter Road, 2-1. And Motherwell were winners at the Cali Stadium, with Willie Kinaberra scoring. It was 2-1 for Terry Butcher's team. And it was 4-1 for Hearts at Ammanvale. Paul Hartley scored twice, delivering another man of the match performance. And here is how the SPL table looks after all of that. Hearts It can't get much better for them at the moment. 18 points out of 18. And just look at that blossoming goal difference, plus 15. And in terms of points, 5 ahead of Celtic, Kilmarnock and Hibs, all winners yesterday. Rangers on 10, 8 points off the pace now, the Ibrox team. Inverness on 8. Aberdeen and Motherwell 7. Dundee United 5. Falkirk 4. And Dunfermline 2. And Livingston 1. Next weekend's schedule looks like this. 5 games on Saturday. It's Dundee United against Livingston. Now you see it, now you don't. Dunfermline against Aberdeen. It's Inverness Cali Thistle against the league leaders. That could be intriguing at the Cali Stadium. It's Motherwell against Falkirk, who are boosted by their point against Rangers. And Rangers, after Porto, are at home to Kilmarnock in the SPL. Hibs against Celtic in the SPL next Sunday, which, Craig, should be intriguing.
Should be a cracker because Hibs have got back in there. Celtic are improving as every game goes by. Gordon Strachan seems to be getting his message across, but that's going to be a big game for them. Kilmarnock away to Rangers, and they've started the season very, very well, so that could be interesting. So some big games coming up for all the clubs, and the SPL's got a real healthy look to it at the moment.
Must we be more and more convinced about Hearts?
Yes, without a doubt, and I think next week could be significant. If Hearts can go to a tough venue at Inverness and win, then the 4 teams will all play each other. Hibs, Celtic, Kilmarnock, Rangers, so technically speaking they could stretch the lead.
And a long, hard season for Livingston, Craig.
Yes, but Dunfermline are still down there. Falkirk are only 3 points ahead of them, and there were some encouraging signs today with the strikers. If they can sort themselves out at the back, then they're going to give themselves a chance. Looking forward to Easter Road next week. I think it'll be a really big game, Hibs-Celtic.
Thanks very much to Craig Burley and to John Robertson for joining me here this afternoon. Hearts have 6 appeal, 6 wins out of 6 at the top of the SPL, and they continue to set the pace in quest of that end-of-season title. Hope you've enjoyed it from all of us. Bye for now.
I'm thinking about my